Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these mini coffee cup treat boxes. You can use these to give as gifts during the Christmas season. This video is going to be geared toward Christmas and winter, but you can totally use these ideas to create little mini coffee cup treat boxes throughout the year. I can also see these being used for Valentine's Day, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, or any time you want to give a special treat just because. These would also make great teacher gifts. So you can put just about anything you want that will fit in these little 4-ounce cups. Here I have some Hershey Kisses in this cup. So you can fill them up and give these as just little thinking of you gifts during Christmas time. And I want to show you that you can actually decorate these with your stamps. So this one I have decorated with a Frosty the Snowman stamp. You can also decorate them with dies. So here's one that just has some circles on it as well as a snowflake. And I've also decorated some of them to make them look like little characters. So here is an actual Frosty the Snowman. It looks like the actual cup is Frosty the Snowman. I think that's just so cute. Here's one that represents Santa Claus, and I will show you all of the dies that I've used to create these little cups with the little characters. So here's a penguin. Isn't that so adorable, just using some black cardstock? And then here is one you can use for the fall time. So you can see there's a little salt shaker, there's a cocoa bean, there's a pumpkin. I think that's so cute. And the little faces on there really make them extra cute and stand out a little bit more. Here's a reindeer, and this one I turned into Rudolph by just adding a red pom-pom. And then I want to show you that I'm also going to explain in this video how to create a little stand to put your coffee cup in, and I'll do that towards the end of the video. This coffee cup has just some ornament dies wrapped around it, so you can see how pretty that is. And then if you wanted to, you can also include a spot for a gift card on the back, and that's what I have here, just a little pocket, and I put a Starbucks gift card right there in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these mini coffee cup treat holders. So let's go ahead and get started. So here are the supplies that I have. So these are little 4-ounce, just white mini coffee cups that I picked up on Amazon. I picked up a bag of about 100 of these for under $20. I'm sure if you don't need that many, you can probably find them from other sellers on Amazon for less quantity. And the dies that I'm using are from Trinity stamps. So this die set has the large die to make the sleeve around the coffee cup. There's also a scallop circle and some stitch circles and a regular circle that you can use to decorate the top and the front of your coffee cup. There's also a small tag and there's a face in there. You also get all these little decorative dies. There's a pumpkin, there's a heart, there's a coffee bean, there's a salt shaker, and then you also get the smaller sleeve with that set. And then I also picked up this other set, which is for making the Christmas themed coffee cups. So you have all of these fun dies that you can decorate your coffee cups into little characters. So for example, this would be for your penguin. You have some scarves here for the snowman, or if you wanted to include a scarf on a penguin, there's an ornament. There's also a larger tag. You can see here's the snowman hat. You can see below that there is the carrots for the nose. There's also a die for the reindeer. There's some snowflakes. There's also some dies to make your Santa Claus. So a lot of fun seasonal dies for the winter season. I also want to mention that I will have links to all products that I use in this video down below in the description box of this YouTube video, as well as on my blog at lisamearsdesigns.com. And the coordinating blog post link will be also listed in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. So these mini coffee cups are really cute when decorated with some fun holiday pattern paper. So I'm just flipping through some paper that I'm going to be using. This is the Sunny Studios Stamps Holiday Cheer 6x6 paper pad. I do use this paper pad. I will have a link to this down below if you like this style. And I also am going to show you another paper pad by Sunny Studio Stamps, but I don't end up using the other paper pad, but just in case you can't find this one, there's also this really cute one, which is called Very Merry, and you can see all the fun designs. A few of those scene papers might not be good on the coffee cups, but all these other patterns are absolutely beautiful. I love those candy canes and all of these bright colors, the stockings. They're so pretty. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to make our first coffee cup. So I'm just going to pull out a few of the pattern papers that I want to use. So I'm going to do a polka dot, really colorful one, and then the green with the holly leaves. So you can see that the sleeve for the coffee cup, it is a little bit larger than the 6x6. You can see a little bit of the die extending beyond the edge, which is okay because you're going to wrap this around the cup and you're not even going to be able to see those little pieces that the die did not grab. So I went ahead and die cut that. You can just see it just takes a little piece off of the side, which is not a big deal. If that bothers you, you can just use a piece of 12x12 paper or a larger paper pad. That's up to you. It did not bother me, so I went ahead and die cut, and then I have the smaller sleeve, which I die cut out of the green pattern paper. And now I'm going to go ahead and wrap my cup, and this is going to fit perfectly around these 4-ounce mini coffee cups. So you can either use double-sided tape or glue to add the sleeve to the coffee cup. And for this cup, I'm going to use my double-sided adhesive tape. This is about a 1/4 inch thick. I'm just adding it to the ends of the sleeve on the inside. So the part of the pattern paper that's going to be on the inside of the cup, and then just attaching it to the cup, rolling the sleeve around, and then attaching the other end. Now I do use glue on some other cups in this video, and I actually prefer the glue, so you'll see me use glue later on. So here I'm going to go ahead and attach the smaller sleeve, doing the same thing. So I'm just adding the double-sided adhesive on each end, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around. And I'm making sure that I start and stop at the same point that I did with the larger piece of pattern paper, so that the ends all meet up on the back side and you only have that one crease in the back side. So one of the dies that came with this set is this little stitched circle, which I die cut out of the same pattern paper as the smaller sleeve. And that's going to go on the top of the cup, on the circle part of that cup. So I'm just putting some double-sided adhesive foam squares in the inside of the lid, and I'm then going to attach that circle right to the top, and that's how you make your coffee cup. So now I'm going to decorate it. So I took the same stitched circle and I die cut a piece of Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock because I'm going to color this little snowman up with some alcohol markers. I'm going to use my Copic markers. The stamp set I'm using is the Sunny Studio Feeling Frosty stamp set, so I'm just using one of the snowmen out of that stamp set. Just inking this up with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink because that's the ink that I use when I color with my Copic markers. I also stamped out the little mug, and I'm going to color that as well. So when I color snowmen, I like to put a little bit of gray on the outside just so that they have a little bit of shadow and they're not so flat. And what I mean flat is that it's just not just solid white. I want to have a little bit of shadow on the edges. So I start with my C4 on the edges, and I'll come in with my C2 and my C00 and then my blender just to blend that out. Don't color the whole snowman. Again, just put it on the edges there. So I do color the nose up with a YR16 and YR18, and then I'm going to color the hat with some of my blue markers. I have my B16, B14, and B12. And then I'm also going to bring in some pinks for the scarf, and I'm going to use my RV52 and RV55. I will also make sure to include all of these colors that I used in my description and on my blog as well. So I'm just going to color up this little mug in some of the greens. The greens that I use are G3, 5, and 7, and then for the coffee, or this could be hot chocolate, I use E59. Okay, so I die cut a scalloped circle out of some pink cardstock. That scallop is also included in this die set. So I'm just going to adhere Frosty with that stitch circle directly to the scallop, and then I'm going to add the little mug in his hand, and then that's going to go on the front of my little coffee cup. If you wanted to put it on the top, it will also fit on the top, but it's not going on the top. It's going to go on the front, just like that, and I'll adhere it. And the last thing I'm going to do to finish off this coffee cup is just add a bow to the top. So if you just purchase the single die set that includes the sleeve for the coffee cup and these scalloped and stitched circles, you can use your stamps to decorate your coffee mug. So that's what I wanted to show you here. Now this die set also comes with all of these other small dies that you can use to make a little character out of your coffee cup. So I just want to show you what all these other dies will make that's included in this set. So here's a little salt shaker. If you wanted to do another one and make it a little pepper shaker, you can. I went ahead and die cut these out of some cardstock. That's a little coffee bean. There's some layering dies here, so I'm just gonna layer up these 2 layers and add that to the coffee bean. I did ink up the edges of all of this cardstock with the corresponding ink color. So for example, this coffee bean I inked up with some brown, a light brown ink, just to add some more dimension and depth to the actual die cut image. So here's a closer look at that coffee bean. And then there's also some dies to make a pumpkin. So I went ahead and die cut the pumpkin and inked up the edges. And then you have the stem, and then there's a little leaf. So all of these fun dies that you can just put a pumpkin together. So this would be great for a fall themed coffee cup gift. So here I'm just attaching the stem on the back side of that pumpkin, and then I'm going to attach the leaf. So here's an up close look at the pumpkin, and then there's also a die for a heart. So if you wanted to use for Valentine's Day, you can do that. There's also some little hands, and there's a face on there as well, which you'll see here in just a minute. So here I'm actually leaving the coffee cup white. I'm not using the large sleeve. I'm just using the thinner sleeve, and I'm attaching the thinner sleeve just around the center of the coffee cup. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach the face. So I went ahead and die cut. I'm just showing you the little die cut pieces that came out with the 2 eyes, and then there's a mouth, and there's a little piece for a tongue. So here I'm actually putting the little mouth together. I did die cut out of some black cardstock, and then the tongue is going to be out of some pink cardstock. I'm just going to add that right underneath. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the eyes. So just put a little dot of glue on the cup and then add each one of the eyes to that. So next I'm going to add all of those other fun die cuts right to the center of the sleeve. So I add the heart and then the pumpkin. I'm going to add the salt shaker and the coffee bean. And then once all of those are added, I'm going to add the hands, one on each side. There are the hands with the little arms. Here's the die for that. I just die cut it out of some black cardstock. There are 2 dies, so you need a hand going in each direction. So there are 2 dies for that. So I'm just going to add some glue and add one to each side like it's holding all of these. And then I die cut some pattern paper out of the stitch circle. I'll add some foam to the lid, and then I'll add the stitch circle right to the top of the lid. I also die cut the small tag and stamped out the word thanks using just a stamp set that I had in my stash. I put some twine through the hole of the tag, and then I'm just going to wrap the twine around the top of the lid. So that makes for a cute thank you gift. So here's an up-close look at this completed mini coffee cup. Isn't that just so cute? So next I want to show you how to turn your mini coffee cup into some more fun winter theme characters. So if you use this add-on set from Trinity Stamps, this is the seasonal set. Again, a link will be down below. You can create a penguin, a reindeer, you can have some snowflakes, you can do a snowman, you can do a Santa Claus. You can turn your mini coffee cup into all of these fun seasonal characters. So this first one I want to show you how to do the penguin. So I use the large sleeve from the main set to die cut a piece of black cardstock, wrap that around the cup, and then I'm using the penguin dies. You can see all the dies that I've used laying there on the table. So I have the body of the penguin out of white cardstock. I also die cut the cheeks out of some pink cardstock and the nose out of some orange cardstock. I also die cut the scarf out of some pattern paper and just attaching it all. It's so easy to put these little characters together. And then the top, I'm just adding a piece of black cardstock using a stitch circle. And I'm just going to add a bow to finish that off. So there is the cute little penguin. Isn't that adorable? So next I want to show you how to make the Santa Claus. So you have this piece for the belt and the buckle. I die cut out of some gold mirror cardstock. I have the inside piece out of some white. I already wrapped my cup out of some solid red cardstock. And then the small sleeve I die cut out of some black cardstock. That is for the belt. Here I'm using glue. As I said, I like the glue much better than the tape. And then I'm just going to attach the belt buckle right to the top of that mini sleeve. And I just think this is so adorable. I did die cut out the top of the cup out of some solid red cardstock, so that stitch circle. And then I'm just adding some foam there to the lid and adding the lid onto the cup. So there's the Santa Claus cup. Isn't that cute? Alright, so moving on, I'm going to show you how to use the dies in that seasonal set to make a reindeer. So here I have some pattern paper. I thought this pattern paper was super cute. It's from that Sunny Studio Holiday Cheer paper pad. So I wrap that around. I die cut the reindeer out of some craft cardstock. I did ink up the edges with some brown ink just to add a little bit of depth to that reindeer. Added his eyes that I die cut out of some black cardstock and attached him to a scalloped white circle and took a red pom-pom out of my stash and added it for the nose. I die cut pattern paper out of the stitch circle and added that to the lid and added a bow to the top, and that is my reindeer mini coffee cup. Moving on, I'm going to show you how I made the snowman. So I have the small sleeve. I left the cup white and just add the sleeve that I die cut out of some pattern paper. This is going to be the scarf. So just wrap that mini sleeve around the cup, and then the other parts of the scarf I die cut out of those dies that you see there under the table. So I'm going to stick one piece of the scarf underneath that mini sleeve and one will be layered on top, so it looks like that scarf is folded. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the buttons. So all the dies that I use for the snowman, you see they're laying on the table and all the pieces are already die cut out. So I added the two buttons below the scarf. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on before I attach the eyes and the mouth, just because I want to make sure that I don't attach them too high. If I don't have that lid on, I might attach the eyes too high, and then when you put the lid on, the lid might cover the eyes. So that's my suggestion when you're making the snowman face, is put the lid on and then add all of those dots for the eyes and nose and mouth. So I start with the mouth and work my way up. I add about 5 dots for the mouth, then I add the nose, and then I add the 2 eyes. So you can see I just barely had enough room. I probably could have brought that scarf down a little bit more so that I had more room there. And then I'm creating the hat, so I just add that little stripe out of some pattern paper for the hat and die cut the hat out of some black cardstock. And I also die cut the arms, and I'm tucking the arms underneath the scarf. And then for the top of the lid, I'm just going to go ahead and add that stitch circle, and there's my snowman. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so moving on, I'm going to show you this cup, which I've already decorated just using some of the snowflake dies. Just added the snowflake, layered it up. So I have 2 snowflakes there layered together, and I have a little gem there in the center. Put it on a stitch circle and added that to a scallop circle, and then added a top there using a stitch circle. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how I decorate the ornament. I went ahead and added the pattern paper around the cup, and I'm going to go ahead and decorate these ornaments. I've already die cut the actual ornament out of the pattern paper, and then I'm using these ornament toppers that I'm going to add to the tops of each one of these ornaments. I have some gold mirror cardstock that I used for the ornament toppers. And then I'm going to add them around the cup. I actually die cut another ornament off camera and put that together off camera as well because I needed another one to make a complete circle here with the ornament. So I had some space here and just added a red one. And then to finish this off, I'm just going to add a bow to the top. So next I want to show you how to create a little holder to put these little coffee cups in. Now of course you can just take these coffee cups if you wanted to just put them in like a little cellophane bag and make it real cute by tying a ribbon and putting a tag on it. You can do that. But here's how I created my holder. I cut a piece of 110-pound white cardstock to 2 3/4 inches by 11 inches, and I put it in my scoreboard along the 11-inch side. Now you do want to make sure you're using a thicker cardstock because you want your holder to be sturdy. So I first score it at 3/4 inches, and then next I will score it at 3.5 inches. I will next score it at 4.25 inches, and then I will score it at 7 inches. Next, you're going to take that piece of cardstock and fold at all of the score lines using your bone folder to make sure you really press down that score and get a good fold, because remember this cardstock is a little bit thicker and you want to make sure that it is folded really well. So I just want to show you how you're going to fold this up to make your coffee cup holder. So starting with the score at the 3/4 inches, just fold up all of those score lines to make a little box there. And then you're going to take a 2 1/4 inch circle die and just die cut that top part of the box. So you can see that you just rest that circle on there. I'm using some mint tape to attach it. So that circle is going to be between the 3/4 inch score line and the 3.5 inch score line, and just center it in between those score lines. Run that through the die cutting machine, and that's the circle that the coffee cup is going to sit inside. So now you just need to add your pattern paper. So the small rectangle for the front is measured at 2 5/8 by 5/8 inch. And then for the back, it's 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And notice that I'm adding that large piece of pattern paper to the coffee cup holder before I actually attach this part of the box to the back. So now I'm just going to put glue on that small flap and then attach it to the piece that stands up. And there's the coffee cup holder. So I went ahead and stamped out a stamp onto some pattern paper. I'm just going to attach it there to the front. It says warmest wishes. And then I'm going to set my coffee cup right inside. So now if you wanted to add a gift card to this, maybe you wanted to add a coffee gift card, I'm going to add a little pocket. So I have these dies from scrapbook.com. These are some nested pockets. There are 4 dies. The largest die measures 4.5 by 4 3/4, which would be perfect if you do mini albums. That large die would be perfect for pockets in mini albums. And the smallest die measures 2 by 1 5/8. I'm using the second size up. That's going to fit perfectly on this little coffee cup holder. So I'm going to go ahead and take the die and die cut some pattern paper. The die includes some score lines, so go ahead and fold on the 3 score lines. And that will fit perfectly along the back of the holder, and the width is perfect size for this holder. So I'm going to go ahead and attach a piece of pattern paper. My pattern paper is a little bit shorter because I didn't have a full sheet to work with. I had to lessen the measurements of that sheet on the back, but you can just cut your pattern paper the same size that you did the layer on the front, which is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And then just attach your pocket to the back and slide your gift card right in, and then add your coffee cup. If you wanted to add some treats to the coffee cup, go ahead and do so, and now you have a perfect little gift for the holidays. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I always love to read your comments, so if you want to leave me a comment, please go ahead and do so down below. And remember, all product links will be down in the description box as well as on my blog. And be sure to stay tuned for more Christmas craft inspiration from me. I have some more craft ideas coming your way on my YouTube channel, so be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.